everyone, so this is Bette with the first cliplet, and today I'm going to show you how I do my eye makeup for the show I'm currently in, which is Chicago the Musical. I play Mona, otherwise known as the Lipschitz monologue, and I understudy Velma. So Chicago notoriously has a really big makeup phase. It's a kind of full beat. Everybody in this show does their makeup a little bit differently. I'm going to show you how I do mine, and we'll speed up the parts that are a little boring. So the first thing I do is I put some white on as a base, just like a beige skin color powder, just to hold it all in. And then I take this really weird reddish orange, super old Ben Nye, and I put that as the underneath layer because that gives it a little warmth, because the look is so kind of black and smoky and gray and cold that I find on my coloring I have to have it be just a little bit warmer. So we put that in here, and because of the shape of my eye, I do it and it goes a little bit up. So it peeks through just a little bit, just like that. It's a really pigmented color, so it shows up really nicely. I've had this for years, but sometimes the stuff you have for years is really the best. Then the second thing I do is I put some brown on as the next layer, because that's going to be the next thing that you see after the red is going to be the brown, which is just, it's a really dark, what did I get? I got this L'Oreal Paris drugstore. It doesn't have to be fancy and it doesn't have to be expensive. This L'Oreal color, it's just a really dark kind of metallic brown, and I put that on. I just recently found that using one of these just sponge applicators works a little bit better than the brush because it doesn't get all over the place. And I got really tired of putting translucent powder all over my face and then drying out my skin. So I use this instead, and it doesn't go anywhere. And so the next part that we're gonna put on is the smoky black gray colors, and that's what really makes it look like the show. So I have this Rimmel palette that I got on a whim. This is the color I use the most of, and then I put some of that on top of it, and this becomes some highlighter that I do a little later, which I'll show you. And again, because I've found that the sponge applicator works a little better, that's what I've been using. Brushes are great, but not when it ends up all over your face. So we get in there and we put that closest to your lashes. So now that I've got the black on my eyes, I get in there with a little bit more of the red just to brighten it up again, especially if I see like it's not that bright. Give it a little more pop, a little more warmth. So we get in there with that. Just kind of blend it out. I've also got this really great little trick. It's a sponge that comes in a box, and you clean your brush so you can use your brush for more colors in between when you're shampooing it, and the powder falls to the bottom of the sponge. It's great for when you're on the road, like I am right now. So next thing I'm gonna do is add the highlight to it. I've got this lovely little Revolution palette, Ulta. I think it's a British company, and it's got some stuff in it. I like this one because it's got something extra sparkly about it, and I go in right here, right underneath brow bone. Gives it a little lift. There it is. And it just picks everything up. So now that I've got everything kind of set up, I go in with my finger, actually, and I just take a little bit of this darker gray color, and I just go right in the middle there. So a trick I found out through the years was that if you use your middle finger to apply eye cream or eyeshadow to your face, it's a little bit gentler on the skin because your index finger has a lot more strength to it naturally, but your middle finger is going to be, or your ring finger is going to be a lot lighter, so you're going to save yourself in the end. So you just put that right in here, just to give it a little pop. So the next step is my eyeliner. What I've realized, because we have these big, huge, giant eyelashes that I'm gonna throw on my face, this is just about the biggest we go, is that I don't need eyeliner on my entire eye. In fact, it can kind of make it too dark, if that's possible with this show. So I only do, and especially with the shape of my eyes, I only do eyeliner from about the beginning of my iris out, and I lift it up. Instead of it going straight out, it goes diagonally this way, because it's how I'm gonna put my eyelash on, so that when I'm dancing, the lights from the sides of the stage and from the front don't bounce off my eyelash into my eye and give me glare and blind me. So if I lift the eyelash up, it stays out of my way. And you're gonna see that in a minute. So I've got my eyeliner on now, and we're gonna put the lashes on. I just use this, it's a Rimmel Black's Black, pretty simple, one of these twisty kinds. And it doesn't have to be super precise, it just has to be the right line, and I like it to go up, like I said. So we're gonna put the eyelashes on now. I've got a little trick about it. When you put your eyelash glue on, if you've got these great kind of light bulbs, like this kind, that actually give off some heat, older theaters will have it. Sometimes the new ones with the environmentally friendly light bulbs, they don't give off as much heat, it's not as good, but you can use a blow dryer if you've got one. But you want to heat up the glue, and it'll get tacky faster and it'll stick better, and it stays all night, which is essentially what you want. You don't want the corners coming off, especially if you get teary-eyed. So I've gotten the eyeshadow to where I like it. I've got my black, I've got my eyeliner, I've got my eyelashes, the red's peeping through. I've cleaned it up a little bit because I didn't want you to just see like gross eyelash face. Sometimes that glue goes where it wants, and you just have to like get a Q-tip in there. So the next thing I'm gonna do is my eyeliner that I put on the inside of my eyes. So we're playing really big houses, and most Broadway houses are a little bit smaller than you would expect. So you don't have to do this like full opera house makeup. But in this kind of a house, when there's 1,000, 2,500, it gets bigger from there. I think we actually played in an outdoor amphitheater, Kansas City, the Starlight, where it just goes on for miles and miles, and in the dark, it feels like you're playing a cavern. So you need your makeup to actually project all the way to the back of the house or the back row of seats in the amphitheater. So this is the trick I do, and this comes from my opera house ballet days. So you take some liquid liner and you actually go on the inside of your eye, and it kind of gives it like a bird effect, something that works on my face with my particular eye shape. And then again, you can kind of make your eyes whatever shape you want to. You just have to play around with it a little bit. So you get in the corner, and I do a diagonal that's gonna be the same line as the eyeliner, so it's one continuous upward swoop. As you can see, I'm gonna get real close now. You can see that there's a little inside line that draws the eye inward, and then I extend the bottom so that it matches the line of the eyelash. Actually, I need to push this one up a little bit more. But essentially, they should all be in line. And then the last thing I do, I push these up so that they stay out of my eyes. I take a little mascara. It can be anything you like, because I had a really good friend tell me that all the eye pencils in the world come out of 2 factories in Germany. And I don't know if that's true or not, but it kind of sounds like something that would be true. So, just blend your own eyelashes up into the big drag lash that I've gone on. Last but not least, we take some white eye pencil and we get right in here just to give a little brightness right next to the eye. Open it up a bit, right in here. In there. It's a little dark. You can go in here too, especially if your eyes are a little red, you've had a long travel day, like we've been having. Then, I'm gonna take eyebrow brush, some kind of angled brush, get some brown on there, if you can see. Get into the eyebrows. I happen to be really lucky. I've got a natural eyebrow shape that works for me, and I just make them darker because they're rather light. But I don't have to do a whole lot of reshaping, and especially not for this show. Some shows you have to totally take out your own eyebrow and draw on like a pencil brow, like a 1920s or 30s show. We're lucky in this one we just get to have our normal eyebrow. So I make it dark. I've got a little eyebrow brush that I will, it's falling apart, but I say waste not, want not. Brush it out, make sure everything stays in place. There it is, and those are my Chicago eyes. Next time, you're gonna see me show you Scooter downstairs, who does our hair, and he's got a few tricks, and he's agreed to let me interview him for the next Clip Clat. So thanks for watching, and I hope you learned something. All right, bye.